Fallout 76, the meme that keeps on memeing. Can you imagine actually being in the room when Bethesda decided during some meeting that they would add a subscription model to Fallout 76, a full-price game that pissed people off in more ways than one at launch and that continues to piss people off with its antics? Can you imagine the thought process that went into this decision? The internet has reacted, and it can be summed up with pretty much this. I mean, I thought Fallout 76 was a tragedy. Turns out it's a comedy. This is a freaking joke. Now, in today's video, I want to focus on the community reaction. There's some priceless stuff out there, but they also just call out a lot of Bethesda's BS surrounding this whole issue. But before we delve into that, I want to show you this video from IGN's interview with Todd Howard before E3 2019, when they talked a bit about the backlash surrounding Fallout 76 and what Bethesda would do to recoup some of that lost reputation. And here's how Todd Howard responded to that inquiry.
How do you, is there a strategy for kind of getting over that, shaking the reputation that it got at launch and kind of winning people back over?
I think, well, there's no strategy other than just keep making the game better. And people who play it, and they'll come back. And it was, by the way, it's been very popular, right? So yeah. It was a huge release for us. The community around it's really, really strong. Obviously, it got a lot of criticism and stories, and we see all that. And it's not,
you see all that,
you don't want to read that, but it is what it is. And again, we deserved a lot of that. So it's just working the issues. Like, hey, what do the consumers want? Hey, what do the consumers want? What do we want? How do we get there? This is a very long tale for us in this game, and there's some awesome stuff coming this year that I think people are going to see at E3 and be hopefully very excited.
What do the consumers want? Says Todd Howard. Apparently that's what they asked themselves when they decided that they would launch a subscription service that offers a lot of gameplay stuff that should have been doled out for free to everyone, and various other elements that certainly don't justify $100 a year or $13 a month. I would also like to highlight that Pete Hines said this when speaking to PlayStation Magazine before Fallout 76's launch, quote, "There's always going to be new content, changes in game balance, whatever it takes, and by the way, it's all free after launch. All our content. There's no season pass and no paid DLC. So anything gameplay related, Pete Hines stipulated right here, those would be free because the cosmetic microtransactions would pay for the gameplay stuff. But now fast forward to today and things that should be free for everyone, private worlds, private servers, the scrap box that allows for unlimited storage for crafting components, the survival tent, which gives you an extra fast travel point, all of these things that fit within that purview of gameplay features that Pete Hines mentioned would be free. That stuff's now locked away behind a paywall. So what does the community have to say about all this? Well, a lot of the hardcore fans of Fallout and Fallout 76 specifically are on Reddit, and they've had a thing or two to say. So looking through Reddit, it isn't uncommon to see snide comments like this. Fallout 76 first subscription, is this an out-of-season April Fool's joke? In reference to that infamous moment during a Q&A panel during last year's BlizzCon. Nope, this is no joke. Well, it is a joke, but Bethesda's taking this situation seriously. The rest of the world thinks Bethesda now is just a complete joke of a company. Then we have this user who pointed out something very important, quote, "Taking ideas for your game from your community and then selling it back to us." When Bethesda posts an update about this crap, they always resort to saying, "You guys asked for this and we're happy to provide this." So right here it reads, "While we had many ideas on what to add to the Atomic Shop, one of the ways was the direct result of the community's feedback." This is in reference to them officially backtracking on the purely cosmetic promise right here, and they reference repair kits, scrap kits, the Collectron Station, and a working refrigerator, some of the gameplay affecting items that are now in the Atomic Shop. Also right here, in regards to private worlds, Bethesda says, "The community has been asking for the ability to play in private worlds Worlds since before the launch of Fallout 76. Except what they don't mention is that when people ask for this, they expected to get this stuff for free, because as Pete Hines said right here, there's always going to be new content, changes in game balance, whatever it takes, and by the way, it's all free after launch, all our content. There is no season pass and no paid DLCs, but instead what Bethesda did was exploit the community. Take feedback, learn about the inconveniences of the game based on that feedback, and then sell back the solution based on the ideas that the community provided. It's actually incredibly scummy when you think about the implications of this whole situation. From there, we have this post whose headline reads, "Mark this day as the day Bethesda really proved they're not only idiots, but liars." A subscription service that implements objective, pay-to-win content for a game that's still more broken than most games at launch. So one of the most infuriating things about this subscription service, aside from the fact that it offers so little value at such a high price, is the fact that this is a game that continues to be broken, unpolished, not in an ideal state. And Bethesda decides that before they've even fully fleshed this game out, gotten it up to a state where it is adequate enough, despite the game still being in a half-baked state, that they would launch this subscription model, ask people to pay for more. The post continued, "You went from cosmetics only to blatant lies about what we wanted from the Atom Shop to blatant pay-to-win mechanics in 5 effing days." Funny how on the anniversary of the bombs dropping, Bethesda Game Studios bombed their studio metaphorically. Yeah, I guess there is something poetic about that. Moving on, another user said, "Dear Bethesda, how about a free year of your premium to everyone who originally bought the unfinished game for the original ticket price?" This isn't a free-to-play game, let's get that straight. A lot of people paid full price for this title, except the game didn't launch in a state that was worth a full-price AAA game, and it's still not worth that. And at this juncture, they decide that it's a good idea to charge $100 for a yearly subscription service that offers very little value, and that paywalls, gameplay features people expected would be out for free for everyone because that was what was originally promised. It's mind-blowing, just the levels of idiocy that went into this decision. The levels of just a complete apathy, complete lack of foresight. I'm seeing a lot of posts pointing out how other subscription services offer so much more value for around the same price. So Xbox Game Pass, that is $10 a month for the Xbox One version, $5 a month for the PC version. That offers an incredible library of games. Outer Worlds is coming out on Game Pass at launch. Some of the most hardcore fans, some of the most ardent players are talking about how they can no longer defend Bethesda at this point. So it reads right here, "I can't even defend it. This subscription costs more than Live. It should be a single-player edition free so it can just be a normal Fallout game when Wastelanders comes." Referring, of course, to private servers that will allow people to play Wastelander solo or just co-op with a group of friends. Here's another Reddit user talking about how they can no longer defend this bullcrap. This reads, "We delayed Wastelanders. Do you want a membership instead?" Mockingly quoting Bethesda. And then the post added, "Defended this game multiple times, but I can't defend this new membership. Unlimited component stash space is the real dagger." So, as I've mentioned before, a major struggle within Fallout 76 is limited inventory space and limited stash space. And this unlimited stashing of junk would allow people to free up their inventory for more valuable, more relevant stuff that they would immediately use during moment-to-moment gameplay. That is locked behind a paywall. And something that I previously didn't consider is the fact that for console players who, in order to play an online game like Fallout 76, they have to pay for Xbox Live and PlayStation Plus. They're essentially signing up for 2 subscription services now. So this Reddit user said, "Console players are already paying a subscription fee for online service just to access the game. Another fee on top of that seems ridiculous. You want me to pay another monthly fee just to access game features? That's alright, Bethesda. I'm out." A number of users have also pointed out the lies surrounding this subscription service. So this user said, remember how they claimed they can't increase the stash limit because of server problems? Yeah, me neither. That's why they must be offering an unlimited storage option as part of a monthly subscription scam. They previously said this is just not possible, and that's why it's not something they're offering players. But it turns out that it's not only possible to implement unlimited stash, Bethesda was saving it so that they could implement it as part of additional monetization elements for their half-baked title. This already heavily monetized game that continues to push the goalpost of how they are going to nickel and dime the players. Here's another user who pointed this out, mockingly quoting Bethesda as, "We can't add a little more stash space because it would affect server stability, guys, but we can absolutely sell you unlimited stash space for crafting materials." This is it, boys. The line has been crossed. Now the line has been crossed? I mean, I would argue that the line's been crossed a while ago, but they've certainly now leaped over it. And then on top of that, it turns out that according to this Reddit user, quote, "Reminder, scrap was never supposed to count against your stash weight originally." And that's actually true. This is something that Pete Hines, the liar, the deceiver himself, hinted at in this tweet when a user asked, is there a set limit to how much stuff we can have in our storage, or is that not factored into the player stash? Pete Hines, right here you can read, he said, "Store away, not aware of any limit. Game companies purposely introduce limitations so that they can sell you the solution to those limitations. This is just a common practice now, and Bethesda's caught on." This next user right here highlighted the fact that players who subscribe to Fallout First do get certain gameplay advantages. So it reads right here, "The scrap box is exclusive to Fallout First members and can be used in both public and private worlds. This is not good." The post then added, "Wow, so if I pay $16.50 a month, I get a real advantage in public servers too?" I'll remind you again that having infinite stash space to store away all your junk frees up your inventory significantly, and people who have that ability, they'll be able to just carry more useful stuff during moment-to-moment gameplay, and that does grant some form of advantage. It's not pay to win in the sense that it's a win at the game button, but it is pay to win in the sense that it does just make your experience that much faster, that much more intuitive. And apparently nowadays, making your game more intuitive is something that's to be sold, not given. Here's another user who pointed out Bethesda's lies, specifically Todd Howard's lies, of which there are many. He said, "Remember when Todd told us, no, promised, that Fallout 76 wasn't going to be a shameless cash grab, but a proper side project? Turns out the proper side project was turning it into a shameless cash grab. I was going to come back with Wastelanders, but now seriously considering not wasting my time." Or your money, for that matter, I would say. This Reddit user highlighted the timing of everything, stating, "Imagine giving 2 big middle fingers to your community 2 days before the release of a major rival game," referring to, of course, Outer Worlds, a spiritual successor to Fallout. And not only is the game getting fantastic reviews, and not only are a lot of people saying that this is the Fallout experience we have wanted for a while, again, Xbox Game Pass, a subscription service that costs around what Fallout 76's Fallout First subscription costs, but offers so much more, including Outer Worlds. Before I close the video off, here is a tweet by Chris Avellone, who is, of course, former Obsidian writer. And in regards to Outer Worlds and the timing of Fallout 76's self-destruction, shortly before the release of its rival Outer Worlds, Chris Avellone had this to say. "Dear Obsidian plus Private Division, no idea how you hired Bethesda to coordinate their announcements for Fallout and Fallout 76, but the combo is amazing for helping Outer Worlds. Seriously impressed." Yeah, this is all great PR for Outer Worlds. A lot of people are highlighting the fact that Outer Worlds is just there on Xbox Game Pass, a full new game that is a far better Fallout experience than Fallout 76. So yeah, Bethesda's just the laughingstock of this week's headlines, and deservedly so. They, I guess, couldn't let Blizzard hog all the attention this month. I mean this from the bottom of my heart. Shame on all of you higher-ups at Bethesda who made false promises, who tricked people into spending $60 on a game that was supposed to have 16 times the detail, on a game that was supposed to launch as a complete Fallout experience, on a game that was never supposed to monetize its gameplay additions, on a game that promised so much and yet delivered so little. What it delivered is so insulting. Shame on you, Todd Howard, as well. I mean, you're the face of the company. Let's get that right. You are the face of Bethesda. What you say matters. And time and again, you've gotten our hopes up with blatant lies and deceptions. Anyway, that's that. There's your general look at how the community's been reacting to this whole situation. I'd love to hear what your take is on all of this in the comments below. With that, I would like to end this news update and discussion video. Thank you for tuning in. To be further updated on all things gaming news, reviews, and discussions, stay tuned right here on Young Yeah. I'll see you guys next time. Young out.